I never thought I would say this, but I'm more excited about playing Pokémon now than I have been in years. Don't get me wrong, I have played every Pokémon game from Red and Blue to Scarlet and Violet, but let's be real, the last few games were kinda meh. And then I found the world of fan-made Pokémon games, ROM hacks and fangames, community projects that have way more creativity, challenges and passion than some of the recent official games. And the best part, I have set up the perfect Pokémon gaming setup, the Trim UI brick for the classic games, and my Android tablet to play every Pokémon fan game ever made, including PC games right now on my tablet. So today I will show you what these games are, why they are amazing, and how you can set up your own Pokémon gaming setup in just a few minutes. So if you are new to this world, let me break it down. There are two types of community-made Pokémon games, hack ROMs and fan games. Hack ROMs. These are modified versions of existing Pokémon games where fans take the original ROM and remix everything. New Pokémon, through their AI, different regions or even brand new mechanics. And if you have never played a ROM hack before, here are the best and most popular ones. Pokémon Unbound, a fight red hack with a massive story, new mechanics and one of the best post games ever created. Is packed with custom animations, side quests and even difficulty selection. Pokémon Radical Red. If you think regular Pokémon games are too easy, this is the hack for you. Radical Red takes Fire Red and cranks the difficulty up with modern Pokémon abilities and a competitive AI that will actually challenge you. Pokémon Gaia, an Emerald-based hack that introduces an entirely new region with deep lore, custom sprites, and a fresh storyline. It feels like an official Pokémon game, but with way more heart. Pokémon Emerald Seaglass. If you love Pokémon Emerald but wish it had some modern improvements, Seaglass is the perfect upgrade. It enhances the game with quality of life changes, a better difficulty curve, and refined mechanics while keeping the nostalgic feel of the original. And finally, the one that I have played most, almost 100 hours here, is Pokémon Team Rocket Editions. In this Fire Red hack, you play as the Team Rocket, stealing Pokémons, working your way up to the ranks inside the Team Rocket organization, and see the Pokémon world from a completely different perspective. It's a must-play for everyone looking for a unique twist. These games push Pokémon to its limits in ways that Game Freak never has. The creativity, the passion, and the level of detail in these hacks are just incredible. And the best part is that you can play all these games on an Android device or in your retro handheld. And I'm going to show you a bit later how to set up your Android phone or tablet to play everything. In the other hand, we have fan games. Unlike ROM hacks, which modify existing Pokémon games, fan games are built completely from scratch, using RPG Maker and the Pokémon Essentials engine. This gives creators total freedom to craft entirely new Pokémon experiences without the limitations of the official Pokémon games. That means that we get new regions, original Pokémon's designs, fresh mechanics, and even gameplay styles that break away from the traditional Pokémon formula. Some fan games even introduce mature and darker storytelling, giving players a completely new way to experience Pokémon that Game Freak would probably never do officially. Now some popular fan games that you need to play. First one, Pokémon Insurgents. If you are looking for a darker, more intense Pokémon experience, Insurgents is a must-play, with Delta Pokémon, regional variants taken to a whole new level, Mega Evolutions, and a story that dives into cults, betrayal, and even mind control. It's one of the most ambitious fan projects ever made. Pokémon Reborn. Think Pokémon should be harder? Well, Reborn is famous for its brutal difficulty, deep and mature storytelling, and a massive open world packed with puzzles, side quests, and strategic battles. Even the gym leaders have full competitive teams, so don't expect to steamroll through this one. Pokémon Infinite Fusion. Ever wonder what it would be like to fuse a Charizard with a Blastoise? Or Pikachu with Mewtwo? Well, in this game you can just do that. Infinite Fusion lets you combine any two Pokémons, creating thousands of possible hybrids with custom sprites, abilities and movesets. It's a chaos, but it's amazing. Honestly, these games push Pokémon to its limits in ways that Game Freak never has. Whether it's exploring darker stories, crazy new mechanics, or experimental gameplay ideas, fan games give us the Pokémon experience we have always dreamed of. And the best part is that they are made for fans by fans, which makes them feel so much more personal and creative. Let's talk now about my Pokémon setup. My setup I think is perfect for playing every Pokémon game ever made. Whether I'm in the mood for nostalgia or completely new Pokémon experience, I have everything here. In the one hand, I have the Trim UI brick set up with MinUI, a custom firmware, where I play my Game Boy, Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advance and even Nintendo DS Pokémon games. You don't need to do any special setup, just load your ROMs and play. It feels very good to have a little device where you can play all your games and you can take it everywhere. On the other hand, I have my Android tablet. This is the Lenovo Y700, this is the 2022 model. I have a review in the channel if you want to check it out, but you can use almost any Android device to play the Pokémon games. And this is where the magic happens. With the right emulators, you can play every Pokémon game ever made, including the full computer games. So let me show you how to set up your Android device. Okay, so in this part, I will show you how to set up your own Android device like a Pokémon machine. So first thing is, if we go to YouTube, we can see that I have already a playlist called Android Emulation. Here you can find a video on how to play Nintendo DS, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Colors games. But to be very fast, for playing Game Boy Advance for example, you can look for the My Boy emulator or the one called Pizza Boy. You can use any of these, it's very simple, you can just open the application, load your ROMs, and you can see that you will be playing Pokémon in a few seconds. If we want to play Nintendo DS games, we are going to use an emulator called Drastic. It was previously on the Google Play Store, but if you don't find it, you can look for Drastic APK and go to the first link that appears, which is in up to down. You can click on the download button and this is all. It's again very simple, you can just open it and as you see, you are going to be playing the Pokémon games again very fast. For 3DS games, you can use Citra MMJ or Lime 3DS. Personally, I prefer Lime 3DS because it's a bit newer and you can look for it again in Google. But I recommend you checking my video on how to install this emulator. I usually play these games with a Bluetooth controller attached and it's very simple to map all the controls, but as you can see, I have the game at 3x resolution and it looks really good. And finally, I want to show you how to play the Pokémon games that are made for the computer. As you can see here, I have 3 games, Pokémon Anil, Pokémon Set and Pokémon Atlas, and I can play any of them. Again, I usually play this with a Bluetooth controller attached, but you can play this only with the touch controls. These games, as I commented, are fan games made from scratch from the community to the community, so you can find a lot of different games. To install JoyPlay, we are going to their Patreon. Here you can support the project, but it is free to download. So if we go to the messages, we can see here, for example, this post. Let's open it, and here you have to download all these applications and install them. Once you have everything installed, we can look, for example, for Pokémon Anil. This is an Spanish creator that has some of the best Pokémon games made by fans. And here you will find, for example, a guide on how to play on your phone. So I highly recommend you checking this because a part of the links that I have shown to the JoyPlay application, you will find all the steps on how to add the game. So just follow everything and you will be fine. And here also you can download the game for free, because if you don't know it, it is impossible to do a paid Pokemon game because you are using the Pokemon IP, so you have to do it for free if you want to share your project. So once you have downloaded the game, you are going to compress the game, for example, with RAR, following the PDF that I have just shown you, and then you are going to come to JoyPlay and add a new game. We are going to choose, I have already a Pokemon folder, and you will find this game.x. In case of Pokémon Atlas, for example, it comes already with a X file for JoyPlay. So if you find a JoyPlay.x, it is better to choose it. And after that, you can just select your Pokémon game and start it. If you are going to play with the gamepad, I highly recommend you come into the settings, and here you have gamepad mapping.
in my case, I prefer having the A button as the enter, and the B button I usually put it as select or escape. So it depends on the game, but I usually change this so it behaves like a cancel or a back button. And with that, we're going to be able to play a ton of hours in our Android device. And as a final tip, if you want a background like mine, I have installed Wallpaper Engine and I have downloaded this wallpaper of a Rayquaza with pixel art. So to find the wallpaper, I go to My Walls, here look for Pokemon, and you will find a ton of wallpapers. Let's select, for example, this one, and you can click on the preview. You have to download the MP4. Let's download this one, for example. Okay, and once it has downloaded, we are going to open Wallpaper Engine. You can find the application in the Google Play Store. Let's click on Add. Let's click on Import File, and let's select the video that we have just downloaded. And as you can see, now we have the new wallpaper. But I will apply the one that I had because I like it a bit more. And for the icons, I have an icon pack called Crayon, but it's a paid icon pack. It costs around 1 or 2 euros, but I love it. It's very simple, but I like a lot how it looks. And with this, you have already your own Pokemon setup.
I didn't realize how much I missed that feeling of booting up a Pokemon game and being genuinely excited to explore a new world. Fangames and ROM hacks have brought back that childhood excitement, new Pokemon to discover, unpredictable battles, and stories that actually surprised me. So if you love Pokemon but feel a little let down by the recent games, trust me, you need to check out ROM hacks and Fangames. I just show you how to play every Pokemon game ever on a tablet or on a handheld, so what are you waiting for? If you want more guides on specific games or if you need help setting up your own Pokemon gaming setup, drop a comment below.